Oh,
Who, you?
I got ready to
My
jump.
wife.
Yes.
Because in Tennessee, she's a CPA, so I figured if she,
Yeah.
she'd do well in Illinois.
Hello, come
Hi,
on in and have a seat. So we should be,
Okay, I'll do that.
I gave them the information as
Well,
well,
what
which is
do you
good. They took a copy of my bank.
so we should be live right now.
I
You
think
are in
you
the right
are,
place.
yes,
Yes,
the
sir.
planning board, and we're just getting started.
Is it for like the cannabis?
I know you have a cannabis permit application, so have a seat.
Oh.
We'll get to you in 1 minute.
Right, thank you.
Oh,
I know we're,
I will.
okay,
I will.
we are live on where we're at. I'm gonna, Madam Vice Chair, that you should be,
Thank you, because
we should be looking for, Tom should be joining this meeting,
Oh,
but I don't see him yet, so if I'm gonna be taking notes over there, maybe you could keep,
you want me to monitor in case he wants to join? I'll get the screen, yes,
Yes.
sure. Okay. Okay, all right,
my, yeah, expertise. Thank you, Brad.
and it should pop up at the top center in my experience,
Somebody
right? Or
should be
or should I click the
So
participant?
and so wants to join the meeting, there should be some connection there.
Okay.
Okay, I would like to call a meeting to order at 6:04. On our agenda, I will read the public meeting policy. The selectmen, this is so everybody understands. Anyone who wishes to speak must request to be placed on the agenda by filling out a request form. Oh, I'm reading the one the selectman does.
it's very similar.
I think it's the real one. Oh, shoot. Okay, the planning board meeting rules are posted in the room. Anyone who wishes to speak about a topic must request to be placed on the agenda 5 working days prior to meeting. Chairperson will allow 15 minutes for open discussion at the end of every meeting. Anyone speaking to the board will do so in a civil tone. Yelling, swearing, or belittling is not allowed. Anyone doing so will be asked to sit down as a warning. If orders not observed, they can be asked to leave. If that person does not leave, law enforcement will be called to remove the person from the meeting and charges will be filed. Anyone speaking will represent themselves unless written permission is given from a person wanted to be represented by someone. All cell phones should be turned off or placed on silent. This policy is enacted as a regular and duly called meeting. Okay. Has everyone had a chance to read the minutes from January 6th?
And when these go to the town office, they'll have the public hearing attendance attached and Bradley's recusal letter will be attached to that as well. I just didn't copy them here.
Which actually leads me to under, well, I guess we
It does state in there that
do other business that night.
we did.
Oh, okay, so I could move to it, accept the minutes. Let's see, Madam Chair, I move that we accept the minutes of January 6, 2025.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm second. Oh, second, sorry.
All those in favor? Thank you. Okay. We don't have any CEO actions, but we do have a guest who I think we'll let him go first.
Could I get your name, please?
Oh, my name is Franklin, first name is Franklin.
Yes, F-A-N-G.
Yeah. Last name is Liao, L-I-A.
L-I.
L-I-A.
Thank you, that's okay. Very good. Are you a resident of Canton? Do you live in town?
Yeah, I changed my address, license, everything.
Cool, where do you live?
2 minutes away.
Do you have an address?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hodge Road, number 10 Hodge Road.
Where's Hodge Road?
You know where Chris Daly lives?
Yes.
That road just straight back.
Okay.
Where his old,
Thank you.
behind his old house.
Did you buy the old house?
No, he bought it.
So,
Is it? Does it? Does it? Yeah, yeah. My English no.
take your time.
Like, does it like what I'm going here today, does it matters what you were saying?
So she's going through the meeting protocol, which is attendance, it is certain meeting rules, right? Now the meeting is open and we are asking to understand what it is that what's the business that you're bringing in front of.
Okay, got it.
You can take all the time in the world.
Yeah.
Well. Okay. So I understand you have a cannabis
Yeah.
application.
The license and everything. I don't know what you need, so I think.
Okay, so let's slide your chair up here, bring your chair up here, come up here and put all your stuff on the table. and We'll see what you got.
I don't know, it's like some is company.
What is it, what are you trying to do?
I'm opening a cannabis, growing cannabis.
Okay, so you can grow cannabis
Mhm.
and sell it commercially and the town does not have to regulate that.
Uh,
That the state regulates that, but not the town. Now, if you're selling it at a retail establishment. So are people coming to your house or your business and paying you money for cannabis?
well, I cannot bring them, I cannot deliver. I mean, I have the license for like the growing or selling and delivering. But only selling to the medical marijuana.
Right?
Yeah,
Right.
not the recreation. Not the
Okay.
recreation.
Are you having a retail store on your property?
Not, no.
Okay, well, let's see what you got.
Yeah, sorry. Okay. I
You're doing
don't,
fine.
this is the resale. So
Yeah.
thing. I don't know what it is.
So this was issued in September of 2024, a resale certificate valid until 12 months,
Mhm. There's someone told me,
September of 25?
September 2025, yes. Yep,
and
Was it December or September?
September.
Okay.
this resale,
Do you have a name for your bill, for your,
It's the LLC name.
yeah, 10 Hush.
let's see, okay?
Hodge LLC.
I don't know what we did.
So this is a retail certificate.
Mhm. I don't know what exactly.
Well, that didn't remit sales tax. Okay. So this is a license,
What is this? This is the one that I just got.
main medical use of cannabis program. Okay, 1 second. So this certificate, this is a resale certificate, retailer certificate, resale certificate. The above named business is authorized to purchase during the period indicated on this tangible property to be resold in the form of tangible personal property. So this, the resale means that you could buy cannabis from another grower
Mhm.
and sell it through your business.
Oh, I can be the middle guy?
You could be the middle guy. That's
Oh, oh.
that's what this is.
Oh, okay,
Right, so
okay.
you're authorized to purchase during the period indicated on the certificate, which also is, this is good through December of 2028. So this is a
December 20.
right, 5,
Oh,
6, 7, 4 year
okay, okay.
certificate here.
And when it's on that day on 2028, I come here or?
Well, maybe in advance of that, this means you have to stop selling on that date. So you're gonna want to renew
Yeah,
your
yeah, yeah.
license several months before that.
And I renew it here?
Well, you have to go back to the state and get a new
Oh,
certificate.
the cannabis office, right?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Yeah, my friend told me that like if I want to start growing, I need to come say hi to the office. To see like is everything like
Just to grow.
not just grow because I do got all the license to, do all the stuff.
So are you taking what you're growing and then you're going to process it, some way and you're gonna sell it to people who
Mhm.
have a medical need.
Yeah, I went to the one that's near, you know, the one next to McDonald's. I went in and asked him, like, they were one, it's like Firestone,
In Auburn
Upper.
or Rumford
Oh,
or,
no, here's not
I
that.
was gonna say, there's only.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah,
the
there's
same.
only 3 McDonald's in this area. I think.
Yeah, I know, I know.
Way.
Because this place I haven't come for a long time, and so because the license were not ready, and so I couldn't start anything, you know. And so right now I got.
Okay, so let's see what other
No.
certificates you have.
As of December 2024, they have a spreadsheet, the state puts one forward, maine.gov. And it has here individual caregiver. Is that the designation?
I don't think so.
It has here for Ten Hodge LLC,
Okay, she's your caregiver, okay.
He's gonna be a.
but does say Canton and Oxford, so he's definitely, sir, you're on the state is aware of your presence.
So you do, here's your caregiver, Maine medical use of cannabis program. This certifies
Mhm.
that you have met the registration requirements to act as a caregiver for the below authorized activities. So you don't have a retail license here, even though this says retailer certificate, because this says you can cultivate, you can grow,
Mhm.
you can wholesale purchase, so you can buy products from other people. And you can wholesale, transfer or sale authorized at any listed location. Authorized activity of this caregiver.
Well, what does it mean? Like this one?
The wholesale, this says that, it's like, so. Caregiver activities not authorized, you cannot have a retail store,
Oh,
which
so,
means that if people come to your house
Mhm.
and they want to buy stuff, you can't sell to them. You can deliver to them,
I can deliver to,
you can take it to their house.
huh?
You can door that.
But I deliver to the house is the same thing, like I sell it to them.
Correct, but they're not coming to, you don't have a store,
Oh, so you mean like I open like a, you know, like a cannabis store, like a,
right? You are not certified to
To do
open a
that, you
cannabis
cannot
store.
do that.
oh, but I can sell it to the.
You can deliver to them and sell at their house.
Oh,
You
okay,
can
okay.
door dash or whatever.
Maybe the back. You want to, I don't know. I don't know what that means.
They sent me this.
You can transfer and sale to patients,
They sent me this thing,
right?
this license. Whoa,
Oh, this
Is it the
transfer,
same
you're
thing?
not authorized. This says wholesale only. So individual caregiver registration. So
it's the same thing.
can you look up the caregiver regulations? I think you can
Sure.
have up to, you can only have up to a certain number of
The
caregivers.
state, he went to the state.
marijuana, Maine, let's pull up
What
the
is it?
statute here.
Oh,
Uh,
Yeah. Somebody-
I'm gonna make a quick copy of these two while we're talking, okay? I'm gonna
so,
make a copy.
Do you need any more information? I got the
Not yet. These are the same things.
same thing.
I think so.
It's like the retailer. Oh, yeah, it's the same thing.
Because, okay, I have a question, because he's only gonna sell and deliver, does he need a permit?
We only have an ordinance for medical marijuana for retail operations. So if he's not licensed to retail, he does not need a permit. But
Right.
we do need to, it's nice to know that he's operating in the town.
Right, gotcha.
Cause we'll hear.
Oh, I have a question.
Mhm.
If I want to do the recreational permit.
Yeah.
What do I need to, where can I do?
We don't have anything any policy or
For
procedure.
recreational.
For recreational in this
Oh,
state.
here is only a for the medical.
Yes, that's the
Oh,
only
it's
thing. we-
different. It's different.
Yeah.
Got it.
Because isn't, what I understand, isn't medical legal, but recreational?
No, recreational is legal in Maine now too.
Oh, it is?
Yeah,
but
yeah.
taxed differently.
Yes,
Oh, okay.
It costs more to buy it recreationally.
then medical.
Yeah. Um,
I saw it's like a gram is like the $30 in the recreation. 1 gram is $30. I don't know about, do you guys know about the per price?
No,
So- No.
That is out of our league.
that
No.
Other people could probably answer it, but I don't know.
No, because like I haven't done anything like this before, like take the thing and
Yeah.
sell it to
Hey,
the store.
hey, so do you understand? In the town of Canton,
Uh-huh.
you can only deliver it.
Yeah,
You
Okay.
cannot have them come to your home,
Mm-hmm.
because
Yeah.
somebody will,
because that's what your license is
Yeah.
for.
so how did you decide to get into this business?
I heard people saying like it is
You make
good.
money, you make good money.
Yeah. And I wanna like be safe, and people do it with no license and they get caught before a lot in here.
Yeah.
And so like my friend told me you need a license first.
Oh, yeah,
It's-
yeah, I would do it legally, because you will get in trouble if you
Even
don't.
the
Yeah.
federal, even in Maine, the US District Court, if people are not, they come down really hard on people. Oh,
Yeah.
let's see.
That's why I'm coming here to ask like if there's
Yeah.
any permit I need to get in order, to get my
Well,
place open.
because you're not having a storefront,
Uh-huh.
we don't, according to what state said, we don't need to give you a permit.
Yeah.
But you cannot have them come to your home.
Mhm.
If you want to go further into it, you have to get a state and get an upgraded license to do that. You'd have to get a different license.
Oh, in like a higher level, like
Yes.
upgrade
Yes.
the license,
Yeah.
and
Yes,
so
you-
people can come into my place
Yes,
to make deals.
well, yes, but you'd have to talk to them what they require.
Yeah.
If you'd have to have a storefront, or if they could come to your home, I don't know, but you'd have to go back to the state.
Right now, I'm able to like deliver. It's okay, right?
That's
If
it.
police pull me over, I
Yeah, you can take it to patients on this certificate. Hold on.
You can't even take it?
I don't think so, wholesaler.
Well,
Well,
The thing is too, you have to be aware of, if you're allowed to do that, how much you can have.
Yeah.
On your possession. There's usually a limit.
oh, I'm sorry. What do you I don't get it.
then you can only maybe transport. Is it in grams?
Uh,
And like say 5 grams,
5 grand?
I don't know.
Well, we don't know. There's a limit on what you can transport
How
at a
much?
given time.
You can't take like 10 pounds or
Oh,
something.
like
well,
the
he's a wholesale, he's got a wholesale.
Can he do
license.
that?
He's got a wholesale license, hold on.
Is there?
I cannot pass the amount.
Okay, wait a minute.
Yeah.
We may have to check with the state, because we've got a couple different things here. That are out there.
Only they know that.
Yeah,
When I was living when I went back down there, I'm around speaker from my, or being recorded.
Really do check them all. So
Mhm.
this says. There's a bit of conflict here,
Yep,
right? So you are a individual caregiver registration.
Mhm.
That means that you can take marijuana up to, how many people does it say? You can be.
Well, yeah, I need to still look at that. I'm sorry. I have been looking at it, but I've been trying to find the statute on point.
Yeah, it's,
Let's see.
I think where was we? Yeah, as a licensed caregiver, you can have a certain number of patients. This is, licensed caregiver is intended for, you might have a family member who's sick. And you want to be able to grow marijuana and take care of someone who's got cancer or something. Or you have some friends that you're taking care of, but there's a limited number of people that you can take care of when you're an individual caregiver.
Oh,
So that's almost like, you're almost like being a nurse, right?
I'm being this, but I don't have a patient.
Well,
Well, and
then,
that's important because the definition of a caregiver is caregiver under the main statute means an individual who provides care for a qualifying patient. In accordance with this chapter, so then we have to look at the definition, what's a qualifying patient?
Only for patient, not for like store.
Individual caregiver is this registration.
Well, a qualifying patient means an individual who has been a resident of the state for at least 30 days and who possesses a valid written certification regarding medical use of cannabis in accordance with this chapter.
So you have to have a medical card.
Okay.
The patient, the buyer, the patient has to have
Uh-huh.
a medical card.
Mm-hmm.
And they have to have been in the state for 30 days, right? So people can't drive from Massachusetts or New Hampshire, come into the state, get a card, buy marijuana and leave the state, right? They have to be a resident of the state.
Oh, so like for them to be my customer, like patient is like customer?
Yes, but a
say-
patient absolutely has to be sick and has to have a medical card.
Yeah.
And
In order
also
to
the
buy.
limits to how much the qualifying patient can have.
6
So
plants.
No,
it's,
it's him growing.
this-
Oh, yeah.
That's
But-
individual.
Oh, but I mean, if you're, let's say someone wants to order, you know, if someone says they want to order in bulk their medical marijuana. The qualifying patient may possess up to 8 pounds of harvested cannabis. They're able to cultivate or designate a caregiver operating under, and they cite the statute to cultivate up to a total of 6 mature cannabis plants, 12 immature cannabis plants, and unlimited seedlings for that qualifying patient. The total number of mature cannabis plants per qualifying patient, whether cultivated by the patient or by a caregiver operating under, and they cite the statute, may not exceed 6. The total number of immature. Oh, no, I was just gonna say, I'm almost done here. The total number of immature cannabis plants per qualifying patient, whether cultivated by the patient or by a caregiver operating under, and they cite the statute again, may not exceed 12. 2 or more qualifying patients who are members of the same household and cultivating their own cannabis plants may share not more than 2 cultivation areas.
Okay, so. If this is you,
Mhm.
right, that's
Okay,
you.
okay.
You're over here, you're growing plants.
Mhm.
Those are bad leaves.
Okay, I got it. It looks like a potato.
It looks like a turtle. Exactly. I was just gonna grow one leaf, I'm like, okay. No, okay.
Okay.
So if you have one patient that
Mhm,
you're taking care of,
mhm.
you can have 6 mature plants, like full-grown plants. And 12 like smaller plants.
Mm.
They call immature plants, right? Young plants. For every one patient.
And does it like limit the time? Maybe 1 month I can service him
Well, 8 pounds.
one time and he can come every day or?
Well, you can't come every day and get 8 pounds. Is it 8 pounds is?
Oh, no, they cannot, let me go back to that one again. This is really
I don't know like how that works, you know?
important.
You're right.
They cannot possess more than that, so meaning what they have in their possession, maybe at home, maybe.
Mhm.
That qualified patient cannot exceed the numbers I just mentioned. In other words,
So if you're processing the marijuana
Mhm.
and you're selling it to somebody, you can only sell them 8 pounds at a time.
well, or if you happen to know that they already have some, you might need to know how much do they have already, because they cannot exceed those numbers.
Right.
Oh,
In their
so
household.
even they buying from me every day, right?
They
They
can't.
cannot pass the amount of the.
Yeah,
Right,
yes.
so if they buy
But-
1 pound, they can come back another 8 days and buy, or, they can buy another pound tomorrow, but after 8
Yeah.
days,
They're done
Okay, okay.
yeah, until they use
until
it,
it's gone.
until they use it up.
So just don't pass the 8 pound, but
Right.
for.
need to
But you may not know, you need to keep track of what they're at, if they're a patient.
Mhm.
It's like if you're in a hospital, someone needs to be monitoring how much medication is this
Well,
patient getting?
He has to
You
keep records.
Of what he's given to people.
Yes,
I
he
don't know
has
that
to
he
by
has,
state law. doesn't
I
he?
don't know that he has to be responsible, so if they go somewhere else and get some,
Yeah,
I don't know that
But
he's
for his
responsible.
records, he has.
But if
to.
if you happen to know that this
Yeah.
person has already in their home a whole stash of this stuff,
Mhm.
you need to kind of keep that in mind, because that person can't go beyond.
Oh, he's illegal. He's,
Mhm.
he have too much like that in the house.
So this is the one we should check on, because this says, he's met the requirements of 22 MRS
22 MRS.
subsection 588C
.588, is that just a C with the hyphen or no hyphen?
dash C.
Oh, dash C, okay,
Yeah.
yep.
To act as a caregiver for the below authorized activities for medical cannabis for the use of qualified patients, other registered caregivers, and registered dispensaries. So I think what you can do is you can also grow wholesale. So you can grow more plants and sell them to a dispensary,
Oh, so I can do I
wholesale.
can make deals with the stores, right?
That's correct.
Oh, and what you were saying to me about this is like
This is what this is. This is caregiver, individual caregiver. That means that you are authorized to,
it's when I'm selling to
you can
like
supply
one
to
person.
one person.
It's
right.
to the person, then it have this rule.
That's
I need to
correct.
follow this rule. But if I'm selling it to the store, what?
I don't know that there's a law around selling to the store, because his license says wholesale purchase or wholesale transfer is authorized at any location listed of authorized activity. So he can
Does he have a
sell,
list of who he can sell to?
Not really.
no.
I need to go find. find
There's
it.
enough of them?
And you might have to, at some point, you may have to register your customers with the state. I don't know.
Mhm.
So let me just make sure I didn't put two copies of it. Where? Hold on. You have medical. Oh, yeah, this is a copy. So you are not, this is not authorized here,
Mhm.
right? So you're not authorized to manufacture. So you can't turn your cannabis, for example, into cannabis butter, or cannabis gummies, or cannabis
yeah.
cookies,
Yeah, I got it. I
right?
got
You
it.
can't make any other product.
Oh,
You can
like
only sell cannabis.
edibles.
You can't make edibles.
Okay. What's this?
What is IHS? Manufacturing with IHS.
Yes.
I don't know what that phrase means.
Retail store?
You are not
Um,
authorized for a retail store.
Oh, I cannot open.
Right, so you can't make like a building with a sign out that says,
Okay, got
get
it.
your cannabis here, come here,
Yeah.
right? You can't do that.
Okay.
And this says you can't transfer or sale to patients.
Mhm.
So
Wait a minute.
I know. So this
inherently
says-
hazardous substances.
Oh,
thank you.
You're welcome.
what does it mean?
Inherently hazardous
Oh.
substances.
That probably you can't extract, like you can't use a solvent to extract
Mhm.
the
Mhm.
terpenes and the other chemicals that are in that people like.
Um, I think. Okay, I have some,
I think we need to check, because I think you have two different licenses here.
Me? Who?
Well, this says individual caregiver
And the-
registration, right? This says you can't transfer or sale to patients. So
So
to me,
it's
those
kind
are,
of conflict.
that's a
with each other.
what's the top of that page say, the bigger one?
this is the main medical use of cannabis. Certified that his registration to act as a caregiver, but then it says you can't transfer or sale to patients.
That doesn't
Doesn't make any
How?
sense.
make sense.
Let's
Can a
look,
caregiver sell to a patient, or just? Do you have to like be growing it for your family member or somebody, a
Out
friend?
of the goodness of your heart.
Right,
let's see,
The
we
only
have
ones-
the Office of Cannabis Policy website
Yep.
in Maine, and
Said the only one-
let's see if this has anything about,
I mean, if I'm just like selling it to the store, then it won't
That's
be, it
okay,
won't be a
right?
problem.
That's wholesale.
Mhm.
Wholesale means you're selling it to a store.
Oh, so, okay,
So
okay.
it says you are authorized to cultivate,
Mhm.
so you can grow, to wholesale purchase. So if you needed to, let's say you got an order from a store and they want 50 pounds of cannabis and you only have 40, maybe you find another grower locally,
Yeah.
you buy the 10 and
Yeah,
you
got it.
fulfill your order.
when they ask.
I just cannot sell it to one person.
Oh, delivery, okay,
Person.
look, we've got delivery and curbside, but this is.
This
okay,
is not
this
authorized
caregiver.
for transfer or sale to patients.
Okay, and on the top. I see no-
Cultivation, wholesale purchase and wholesale
Caregiver.
transfer and sale.
Just need to see what is, oh, caregiver, okay, okay. Caregiver. Caregivers,
But he gets a retailer certificate.
That's the thing, they mail it to me. They send an email and then they mail that to me.
Yeah. This is page 2 of 2. Where's page 1? Oh, sorry, page 1 of 2. Okay, that goes there. I guess this one goes here. Okay. So this registration as a retailer certificate. Technically, I mean, you're a wholesaler certificate, right? You do have to pay taxes on everything that you sell.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
This is your registration to be able to pay your taxes.
Oh, yeah, I want you to see one email for me to see if that is scam, Oh, just give me one
I don't think this is a scam. I think.
No,
this
no,
is-
not
Oh.
not this one. The one that they send it to me in email is like about like text, I think.
Do you have a lawyer or someone helping you with this? Your application?
Not yet. I do find someone that like just, just to fill out the thing online for me. Yeah, and
Okay.
then
Does he speak English very well?
oh, I'm not sure.
No, the person who's helping you.
The person who's helping you.
Oh, like he's the one that like does, does
Mhm.
does the license,
Right?
Yep.
Okay.
just to fill up the stuff. But
Okay.
like, and later he told me to do everything.
Okay, so resale certificate is fine. New registration as an entity to like, has a registered account to like pay taxes. That's good. Those are all good, good, good. This is the one we need to double check on.
Let's plug in that phrase of what he's prohibited from doing right into Google with the quotation marks to yield the results. What, can you repeat one more time? What he's not? Oh, there we go. Okay.
So it's not allowed to do any of those things.
Okay, caregiver activities not offered. Please do.
Make it big.
No, I'm just looking.
Is it a scam email maybe?
I've never heard of this organization. Did you submit something to them?
It's like about like a company and.
Yeah, I
so
know, I can read it. It says, this is the US Department, message from the US Department of the Treasury's Financial Crimes Enforcement Network regarding the status of your beneficial ownership information report.
Is that something we can Google?
Did you file a
Oh,
beneficial ownership information report?
I don't think so. I don't think so. Because the person that does the tax for me every year, he told me that this has to be filled out. But the people that I know, like that, that like opens the company like this 1 year.
I've
2
never
years.
seen this. I've paid corporate taxes on a bunch of things.
Yeah, they told me they
You
don't
ever seen
have.
that BOIR, beneficial ownership
No.
information
No.
report?
I have not.
It says on December 19th is when it got filed.
Yeah, and this thing, if it's past, past this year, if
Mhm.
it's like, if it's like, okay, if it passed the December, like last month, if it's
Right.
past the day, I need to pay like $100, like for overdue per day, They charge me $100.
I would find a good lawyer
Mhm.
and have them review this. I don't think this is real, but I
Yeah,
don't want to get you in trouble if you actually do need this thing.
like the one that does the tax, he told me that I need to fill out because according to the law, something like that. That the companies that like opens on 2023 and 2024.
So what is the name of the organization? I'll look it up. What does it
Well,
say?
it said it's the US Department of the Treasury's Financial Crimes Enforcement Network. And the form, the application, their submission was a BOIR, a Beneficial Ownership Information Report.
Enforcement Network or,
Yes,
okay, US Department of Treasury Financial Crimes Enforcement
network,
Network.
yep, FinCEN. It's
What is BOI it's a BOI report?
BOIR,
Yeah,
It's
I
a
think,
BOI report. It says
beneficial.
File, okay, it says file your BOI report, you trust the industry leader when you're online filing. We process your BOI reports than anyone.
I found an answer to this question here. So there's an applicant in the town of Bodenham. There's a town in Maine called Bodenham. This
Mhm.
applicant, which happened to be at this time, this Andrew Thomas Bodowitz, anyway, doing business as and what this person received, so very similar to yours.
Right,
Very similar to yours. It had the list of things that he could and could not do.
Mhm.
right.
So in his case, it said things he was authorized to do, One of them was transfer/sale to patients is authorized at any listed location of authorized activity for this caregiver. But what yours says is, yours is not authorized. So the next level of analysis would be, okay, so of the things that are allowed, what are a caregiver's activities that are, thank you, let me take a look here. So wholesale purchase at, and they're saying that one could purchase at your location. Cultivation at your location.
He can cultivate, he can grow,
Wholesale transaction sales authorized at any listed location of authorized activity.
so
For
he
this
can
kid.
wholesale transfer to some authorized recipient, some retail store, but they have to be authorized. That's wholesale.
Yeah.
Um,
So that's if, let's say he brings the product to the recreational, I'm not recreational, I'm sorry, the medical store, retail.
he can bring it to any store as long as that store has the license. They don't,
Right,
right? They're
right.
just buying from suppliers and he's a supplier.
But you cannot, according to this, you cannot take it to a person's home who says they're a patient. That's not allowed, but they could come to him, I guess.
Well, I don't know. They call him a this is a, well, in a caregiver
He's.
capacity, then he's got this. Individual caregiver registration, yep. That's this one that sounds conflicting.
Maybe what it means is if he only had the one,
Let's see.
the paper one, that one, he couldn't deliver to patients, but because he has the other one, he can do both.
Wait. No, I think, I'm so sorry. I'm
That's
so sorry.
okay.
I think in my memory, they send it together.
Oh,
They mail it to me together in the same envelope.
Oh,
I'm not sure which paper, but it was like the sign, you know.
Right.
I'm not sure.
Oh, no, I was just to say for his benefit, he was referring to itself.
Right.
Um,
Because they gave him a retail certificate, but retail, I mean, resale means he buys stuff and resells it, right? This retail certificate. I mean, if he's, I don't know, that's a lot of different conflicting things. We'll call the state and we'll find out,
Okay,
okay?
because it don't make sense, you know.
you have copies of
The
it all?
car
I
and
do.
But I will say this though, too, and look, I don't want to make any assumptions because we have people of different statuses and things like that, but I just want to put this out there for your consideration. If someone is going to be handling something that's considered a controlled substance under federal law, and they are an immigrant, then there could be immigration consequences for handling this type of material, the cannabis, meaning, in other words, I don't want to make any assumptions. For all I know, I don't know, because you could very well be a citizen, I don't know. But what I'm trying to say is if that you want to keep that in mind, that if you're trying to stay in the United States, and if you're in any process that involves immigration, then you certainly don't want to be, because you're asking us, what can I do? What can I not do? And what I'm telling you is, if that is any question in your particular life, you definitely don't want to do this because you might find that you no longer live in the United States.
oh,
So,
okay.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean, but I'm a citizen.
Oh, well then, perfect. Then you don't have to worry
So
about
what you
that.
mean, like if I'm
Yeah.
an immigrant, if I do something criminal here,
Exactly.
they're gonna send me back to China.
Exactly. No, yeah, no, we would not want that to happen. So
Yeah, I wanna like do everything safe, you know? That's
exactly.
why
Yes.
I'm trying to get everything done.
Oh, absolutely. And that's why I prefaced it the way I did, because I don't, but in the event, I wanted to mention. So,
Okay.
So. I'm looking at this BOIR.
Mhm.
And it says, do not send money in response to any mailing regarding filing that claims to be from FinCEN or another government agency. Correspondence that asks the recipient to click on a suspicious URL, right? or to scan a suspicious QR code. These emails or letters could be fraudulent.
Oh, so you scam.
There, I don't know, I would call somebody and find out.
Like the tax guy, he just told me like give him $100 and he will
Oh,
fill it out. Fill it out for me, you know.
Well, so you're only required to report company applicants if you're a domestic reporting company created on or after January 1st, 2024, or a foreign reporting company.
Mhm.
By the way,
Do I need to file a BOIR H&R block? Sorry, one more second.
sorry.
You're only required to report company applicants if you're a domestic reporting company created on or after January 1st, 24, which you are, or a foreign reporting company. So I think you do have to file it, but it's not very complicated.
Yeah. I think I just like fill out my
I think I would not ignore it.
No.
I think I would do it, but you need to get professional help.
I was also gonna say, in the caregiver instructions in the state of Maine here, I'm noticing that on the application, one of the steps is that you will indicate which authorized activities you will be engaged in. So you might want to check what your application was, because if you said, oh, I'm not going to be delivering to patients, and you hope to at some point deliver to patients, then. And I'm just saying this within the context of the application. I'm not saying you should do this activity. I'd want to be crystal clear. I'm not condoning, but I want you to know that might also be the reason why the form says what it says, is because perhaps when you were filling it out, that form, maybe you didn't indicate that you wanted to sell to patients directly. And so, because anyway.
But they did give them an individual caregiver registration.
But I'm wondering if all caregivers deliver though to patients. In other words, can someone be a caregiver and be making the plants for the patient, but not giving it to the patient? You know, like for medical marijuana, or am I know what you're saying.
Well,
that
I know
inflate-
the guy over on Town Farm Road,
Mhm.
he had the same retailer certificate,
Yes,
right? So we forced him to go through our retailer ordinance process.
right.
He said, nobody's coming to my house to buy stuff at my house. I'm not having a storefront. I'm not having any signage. I'm delivering to patients. Now, family and friends may stop in, but he's not retailing. But because he had this retail certificate,
Right.
we forced him to go through that whole process.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And he has that.
So he's got this, but then this thing says you're not licensed to retail. So you can't have a retail store. So,
But he might have two licenses.
well, I want to double check with
Yeah.
the state. So we've got a copy of this. I will call tomorrow and find out what the scoop is. Let me copy this one too.
And another thing too, I was just gonna say for the record, the way that it says on the main corporate search for your name is FENG. So I just want to make sure the record is clear, because I think it might have been written down FANG. Right? Or did you
No,
put, you did put an E?
Yeah.
Okay, oh, okay.
I have other friends working thing.
It's all right.
Okay.
You know the electric power, the
Yes.
letter, the mail is same. I told them Feng FENG. They put SENG.
Oh.
Like sing. I think it is all right because I won't be like selling to like personal like patients and that, so I think it won't be a problem.
You're not gonna be selling to patients.
I'll be try to find just to find the stores.
Oh, okay.
Just try to sell it to them.
Well, we'll double check with the state, but right now. In Canton, if you're a grower and you're growing and selling only to other stores, you don't have to have any kind of a license from us.
Oh, and like and what license can you guys like?
If you have a retail store, every town in Maine has to vote to decide two things. First, they decide two things. Do we want medical marijuana? Do we want recreational marijuana? Canton has only voted to allow medical marijuana. That's it. Now, the state says if you're a caregiver, you can grow these 6 plants, 12 plants per patient that you're taking care of,
Mhm.
and the town cannot regulate that. So you're growing that directly, the state manages that, they'll come and check on your number of plants.
Mhm.
But that's it. So if you're growing wholesale, you're gonna sell it to another store,
Oh, then like
the
I
town
don't.
doesn't do anything. If you're selling to caregivers, the town doesn't do anything. If you're having a retail store for medical marijuana,
Mhm.
that's all that we're regulating. But right now, you can't sell recreational
Oh,
marijuana.
so when
in the
I'm
town.
opening a retail store, I come here.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, and that's a big process, because you have to have a public hearing, we have to let people in the town know that you're doing it. The town can only have 2 medical marijuana retail stores within the town limits, and we
Mhm.
already have 1.
Okay,
So,
and
If there's already, if you wait a year, let's say, to do that, somebody else gets a license in the meantime, you can't do it. So we can only have 2 stores in the town of Canton,
only 2?
2 retail stores.
Yeah.
Can only
Oh.
have, Canton can only have 2
Uh-huh.
cannabis retail stores.
Is the recreational or the medical?
Just medical.
Just the
Just
just the
medical.
medical?
We have no recreational allowed in the town of Canton.
Oh, every town you have a limit of the.
Correct.
It's different.
So every town has to vote first, medical, recreational, yes or no. Canton has only said yes to medical marijuana. So we've not voted in recreational marijuana. So you can't sell recreationally to anybody here.
It's alright because
But you go
during
to
these
jail.
days, I'm driving around to see like the medical stores
Mhm.
around. Because I'm trying to like ask them if they can, if they can buy from us. So,
I'm just gonna say, this caregiver change / reissue form. If you go to, there's a
He's good,
question
he's good.
here. Which is. Section 5A, cultivation location or locations. It says, do you transfer to patients at this address? Yes or no? So maybe that's also, I don't know if that's.
Probably the guy that make it for me, is filled that for me,
Mhm.
but no.
Well,
Okay, so we'll call and ask about why they're giving you this.
Yeah, it still don't make sense.
And why,
Why would he?
this is really
he would
the big
do-
question, right? Why is this here?
Mhm.
And then what does this really mean?
You have his number? You have,
Let me get, I got your address, let me get your contact information.
Yes.
There we go. There it is. Do you have email and phone number?
Yeah, my email is fangfangliao1 @gmail.com. And the phone number 347-530-6617.
Okay. Okay. We'll get back to you, but right now, this, I think this says you're licensed to grow
Mhm.
and sell wholesale.
And so I got everything ready.
If all you're gonna do is grow and sell to
Yeah.
another store,
Uh-huh.
I think you're good.
Yeah.
yes.
And we'll,
You're not-
I need to double check.
you're not gonna hear that from me because I really believe we're 1 lawsuit away
Uh-huh.
from changing everything, but. And the reason why I say that is because you do realize that what you're doing
Mhm.
is illegal under federal law. However, well, don't answer, you don't have to answer that. That might be a rhetorical question, listen, but because I don't want it to get you in trouble. But here's the thing, is that it's marijuana is a scheduled drug. It's against federal law. We've had a case that went before Maine's highest court, the Maine Supreme Judicial Court, where there was someone who had medical marijuana, claimed he needed, or she needed medical marijuana for their issue with workers' compensation. The employer said, we're not gonna do this. This is against federal law. It went all the way up to Maine's highest court. Maine's highest court said the federal law preempted. That means it overrode the state law, but they limited their holding for that case just to the issue of workers' compensation. And so, the reason why this is still legal, I mean, not legal, I'm sorry. The reason why you see so many marijuana establishments is very hard for someone to sue to sue a cannabis industry, because you have to have what we call standing, meaning you have to show some harm to you in order to be able to sue somebody. But I just want you to know that just one, if the right, all it takes is the right case, and the whole operation could be shut down because the argument could be made that the federal law trumps state law, and that really all these things that allow people to operate marijuana cannot be until Congress makes a change. So in some ways.
So you're at risk if, right, the state passed a law, but the federal government has not agreed.
Uh-huh.
So right now, everybody's assuming the state law is working, but Mr. Sika is saying that at some point, the federal law may stop everything going on,
Oh, so it can still be changed.
potentially.
Like
Yes.
it can, like marijuana can be illegal.
It could,
Well, I mean, it is illegal on the federal level, but what I'm trying to say is the right case could stop everything in Maine.
What do you mean? I'm sorry. What do you mean? Like,
So we have, we have 50 states, right? And we have the US Congress made up of the Senate and the US House of Representatives.
Yeah.
They, in Washington DC, they make the laws, they make certain laws that they have jurisdiction over, one of which is interstate commerce. And the argument could be made that pretty much most things impact interstate commerce, even if you're only growing it in your state, because it affects the market for that drug or what have you. So Congress has come in and they've concluded that they have authority to say marijuana is illegal in the United States. So that's the federal government. Maine, however, has said we're going to allow, first they allow, medical, then we're going to allow recreational. And what I'm saying is that here in Maine, not a federal court, a state court, our highest state court said that the federal law preempted the state.
Oh, what is
Preempt means that the federal law took over the state law, meaning that
they are higher.
that they're higher.
To them?
Right. And so that's why there was this case the workers' compensation case where this worker said, I need medical marijuana. And the employer said, I'm not paying for that because that's against federal law. And Maine's highest court, and it's a state court, said, yes, the federal law preempted it. So that's why, and what I'm trying to explain to you is you might be thinking, well, how come I see marijuana places in this town, this town, this town? That's because it would take a lawsuit to stop these businesses. But in order to be effective, you have to show that you have standing, that you have a right to take somebody to court. And in order for you to have a right to take somebody to court, you have to show that you've been harmed somehow. So like if I was your neighbor and somehow, let's say you were puffing away, smoking marijuana, and it affected my health or something. And if this is a hypothetical, not that I'm doing it, but if someone were to sue you, or of some of these businesses for a similar reason, then a court might say, okay, you have been harmed, and oh, you're right, the federal law preempted the state law, so therefore we're shutting this down.
I have license.
Well, I know, and no one's suing you at the moment, but I'm just saying it could happen.
Like you say, the neighbor, like because there's smell like coming out from the house. If you like you go nearby, but like not like not like so far,
Right.
Like if the neighbor they don't like it, they can be like what you said, In that case,
You only have a couple neighbors also.
yeah.
One of them will never complain.
I'm like
about it.
in the middle, and this one in the front, and this one in the back. so.
Yeah.
But in case that happens, what can I do? I just wait for them to shut off my.
It's something that may never
Never
happen.
happen. I mean,
It's only
Okay.
a one in a, it's a one in a
Yeah.
million time, maybe.
Not every person.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I
Nothing,
got
it's something that could happen.
he's giving you a caution.
Yes,
a caution.
Be careful.
Yes.
Think about it, be careful.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
what like I'm doing. I would
Yeah.
just be safe. But that's what I'm asking. If there's anything I need,
no,
anything I need to get.
So we will double check with the state
Right.
on the pieces of your permits that seem to be conflicting, right? So one says
Yeah.
no retail
Mhm,
operation, but
mhm.
then they give you a retail license. one says no caregiver sales, but then you have a caregiver.
Yeah.
License, so we'll double check on those two things and we'll get back to you right away. Okay.
I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry, you're.
No, I was trying
you're asking
to,
all the right
I was
questions.
trying to like
You're
understand,
right.
understand what you were saying, but
Well,
it was too hard.
it's conflicting, yeah.
Uh-huh.
It's saying, your licenses are saying two different things.
Mhm.
So she's gonna check to
Okay.
make sure what you truly are
Can do. and then-
legally to do.
And then you'll be okay.
Okay.
That's what she's gonna check into.
Mhm.
Cause
Well, and then we'll send you a letter
Oh.
that says from the town of Canton,
Uh-huh.
after planning board review. Blah, 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 blah. We'll send you a letter shortly.
Oh, and if there's anything I need to provide, you guys will.
We'll
will
let you know.
Yeah.
Oh, so today I am, okay,
You're
Yeah.
good.
this is a learning for us also.
okay. Oh, and you guys never see that type of like a confident thing? One says okay, one says no, okay?
Well, let's put it this way, if you were trying, I mean, if
No.
there was something that came before us. Like for a retail, I'm not just retail, but if there was any sort of I mean, retail, I guess that'd be the right example. A retail store
Mhm,
and it came to us,
mhm.
we'd have to review it, obviously,
Yeah.
but.
Not with the type of questions you have of
Oh,
two different situations, no.
okay. So like if I'm opening a retail store, then you guys can.
Yeah.
Tell me
Right,
more.
right, that's.
And this,
No, that's fine.
oh, that. I'm so sorry.
That's okay, they're extras, actually, they're extras, you can have the agenda.
And this I can take, right?
That's your originals, that's all of
Okay.
your original papers,
Okay.
we have a copy of them.
Oh, but the lady over in the town office, she told me that I need to pay for it.
Oh, there is
If-
an application fee.
If he does a retail
If you,
store.
if you were to do a retail store.
Oh.
But our board doesn't even take up these matters of that nature.
You guys
Yeah.
Well, we-
don't.
I mean, of what you showed us, I mean, we looked at it, but we're gonna check to make sure, well, somebody's gonna check. But I'm sorry for my long explanation, but I'm hearing a lot of. I heard a lot of the words, okay, you're good to go, this and, I mean, or I'm paraphrasing, and I'm just wanting to be clear, you're not hearing that from me.
Mhm.
In other words, I don't want there to be any miscommunication where, where you said, well, they said I could do it, I'm not, at least you didn't hear it from me. So,
No, so like,
Okay.
it's okay if there's any license or permit later, I need to go do it and, I'll go do it. You guys can let me know.
Correct, so we will get you a letter shortly that says your licensing from the state of Maine
Mhm.
enables you to do X in the state of Maine.
Okay,
We'll let you know.
all right, so,
Thank you.
all right, thank you so much. Thank you.
Yep.
Good luck.
Thank you.
We're still live.
yeah, we're live. Oh, but you know what? I had not checked if Tom tried to join us. Oops, I'm sorry, Tom,
Probably
if you,
didn't. Would have texted separately.
oh, okay,
He yelled at us.
all right.
He wasn't feeling good on Monday, so I'm guessing he dragged himself to work today, but would probably be very happy just to go home and do it.
I was trying to see if if he had someone that could communicate for him.
To translate or
To
something
translate.
better.
Well, if he goes see counsel, they'll have a translation service usually, or what I mean by that is. If he's wanting to be a client and if an attorney is interested in helping him. Hopefully they would use like Language Link or one of these services to communicate.
But if he, it might have helped him tonight to bring in someone.
Well, I think he and
Oh.
Kathy were like this, because she doesn't know the regulations.
No, but I
And-
know I do know she told me he called her several times and she could not understand him and then came in
Right.
and tried. That just like
See, I don't-
tonight, he didn't understand quite what he's doing.
I don't think he got a lot of what, I think. What you writing it out and showing him, he might have got that, but I think there was a lot that he just didn't get.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So, and if we send him back a letter, depending what we hear from the state, I will draft it and send it to you guys and make sure it's there and maybe include a little bit of explanation. And clearly he's got somebody helping him fill out the forms.
Yeah,
But that person may or may not know the regulations. They can just fill in the blank.
Mm.
on
Yeah.
the forms. I don't know who's helping him, but sounds like it's a friend or a neighbor, or perhaps Chris Daly. I don't know. I don't know who's helping him, but we'll find out.
Yeah.
We'll see. If he's growing wholesale and selling wholesale, we don't regulate that. So. And have we heard anything from our other retail about his renewal? I think that should,
Cause I asked, and he came in, I guess to pay tax or whatever, and said he has moved his business out of town to Lewiston or Auburn.
Oh,
But the question is, how can you check that? I can tell you I've moved and,
is this the Town Farm Road?
yeah, that's what he came in and told the office that he,
well, we can ask the abutters. And we can,
well, that's what
I
I
would
think.
think we can do an inspection. There's no reason we can't check that or have the code enforcement officer check
Yes.
that.
That's what I would suggest. Cause, maybe I don't wanna pay the $100, so guess what, I moved.
Hmm.
Just an example.
We wouldn't want to see you move, Robin.
No, especially in Indiana, that's got way more snow than we have.
Yeah,
So-
lake effect, or what do you think that's, well, they're not
That
really
huge-
on the lake.
That huge
right?
storm came across the Midwest.
Yeah, came down
Couple weeks
through,
ago.
yeah, Kentucky and all
Wow.
that.
Yeah.
So I have a question. I didn't think to put it on the agenda because it just came up this afternoon.
Mhm.
The Historical Society is looking to put in a regulated, a real handicap ramp.
Oh,
And I had to meet with the guy that came and looked and talked. Is this something I should talk to Scott Mills about?
Yes, he knows the regulations on like
All that.
elevation, like you can only have so much slope.
An inch per foot, which is
Right.
what this guy, its main accessibility, MAC
Yes.
is their
Yep.
abbreviation.
Yep.
But of measuring it out and to give us an estimate on it. And there'll be a door that has to be, some construction will have to, remodeling, I guess is what I better say, of the building. If we go ahead with it, but he brought up in some towns about a handicap ramp, and I'm like,
Oh, you mean like in the town office? I mean. For the American ADA compliant, buildings should all have like, I think these doors are like extra wide, like into the
Yes.
restroom,
yes,
so that. you can
because the
get a wheelchair
back
in there.
door of historical, because we're wanting, that's where we would put it. So you can go right up the chair. That door is only 34 inches.
Right.
So that would have to be, which it needs changed down anyway. But that was the young man's suggestion to get with our CEO if we needed to.
Yeah.
So I thought, I'll ask tonight.
I would say yes.
I would hate for the historical of all places to be no.
Correct. He should be able to hand you those regulations easily at what they have to be.
So I will email Scott about it.
Yeah.
Cause it's part of my camp.
All right. The cluster housing ordinance. Do we want to have, that's on our list of things that we want to try to get done? Can I suggest that we skip that, keep it on the old business, but really, really, really try to get the comprehensive plan done in the next
Mhm.
2 months? And-
Yeah.
Okay.
Great.
At the meeting last Monday, which I'm sorry, I know I babbled at that meeting, and I got off topic and derailed, and I apologize.
No.
No, it's good.
I can't believe it.
I did. It was it was horrible. In retrospect, I was like, oh, what do I get for being alone in my office all day? But we decided we were gonna try to meet, is it every Monday in advance of a Thursday meeting to get the comp plan done? Comp plan done. I think we have,
Somewhat familiar.
yes, so on Monday, the 3rd of February. And on the 17th. Okay.
I remember the one thing about the 3rd of February, though, is I have to make sure I get out
Yeah,
in time for the class.
yeah, we said that's important.
Yes.
So those numbers. And the 6th is the planning board meeting.
And on the 17th.
Okay. And then the 20th.
Did someone say the 28th of February? No, right?
This is February.
No, we'd be meeting on the 3rd and 17th of February.
And that's for the comprehensive plan.
Yeah.
I am on the paternity.
And then the 6th and the 20th?
The February 6th and 20th for our regular meetings, if that's
Right, so the 6th and 20th, so we would have 4 meetings in February.
weather permitting.
So Dawn has done a great job on her comp plan session of getting some of the financial tables up to date.
No, thank you.
I was going through I found some stuff today and I found a note that said, get Anasika the transportation chapter. And then I have a note saying it's on the web, it's on that
Oh.
Google Doc that we're all sharing.
Okay,
So I was like, ooh, do I need to like print that out and take it to her? Which I can do, I just wasn't sure if I had to do that.
I think, well, and one of the things, I had mentioned to her, I said, you need to fill out an application if you're interested for the select board to act on it. But I think she's starting to have cold feet about joining the whole thing, I don't know, so.
Well, it is a lot of work, because if you really want to think about the 10-year plan for the town, it's a lot of mind work.
Mhm.
To think about what do you want, what you don't want. But I keep telling people, do you want to put in zoning in town? Which people have voted that down ever since we've been here. But if you wanted zoning, this is the place to get it in.
Yeah.
If you want other things for the town, this is the place to put it in.
It doesn't do any good to sit back and chat or,
But it may,
this is the way to,
but there will be a public hearing on the comprehensive plan and there'll be more of a work session again, once it's like all this data that we're assembling, when that's assembled and we have a start on, so what, like, what does that mean, right? That means like, I think Sarah had done a great job on the recreation or the natural resources. chapter,
Yes, oh,
right?
yes.
Where she
Very
said,
nice job on that.
not just the data, but saying, people who are engaging in outdoor resources are more likely to take care of them. Right, so we should encourage more participation in like hikes and trails and blah, 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 blah. People who do that, I mean, she had a so what section, and then we have to finish that for all those data chapters, right? And then becomes okay, now that we think this is important, what are we gonna do about it? What's the action plan that we're gonna recommend to the town for goals and strategies and actions going forward? And I think maybe people get bogged down in those chapters and the details. I think perhaps when they're assembled, we've got some starting spots and we do maybe another community brainstorming on actions that could go forward. That could be a place.
Perhaps,
where
yeah.
she might like to get more. That's more, because I mean, everybody jumps into that anyway. Like if she came to that last meeting, that's exactly where she went right away. Well, we should
Right.
do this. I mean, that's right where everybody wants to do is tell you how to do it. And that's great. That's the contribution.
Right.
That may be a better.
I do have the updated list somewhere on my phone of the town equipment. Cause I had one when we worked on it several years ago and we've obviously gotten different equipment now.
Yep.
I do have that and it's the fire department also.
You don't have any idea what their, what's that? What was that? I was gonna ask, Harold. Projected needs,
For the fire department,
or for the town of Canton in general. Projected
Jason
needs.
Vaughn is probably the best person to talk to for the
Yes.
fire department. He's got a good handle on.
yes.
Would
And
you
and
want me to give you his?
it'll come up in the budget.
What?
I can give you his contact information.
Okay. And then,
Cause they have a reserve fund.
yeah, I've got that.
Yeah.
The fire department has a reserve fund and stuff, but, what I'm asking is, as a town as a whole,
What do we want? What,
you have Carol's
Yeah.
number?
Yep.
I got that too. I have her email too. I have 3 friends whose name is Carol with an E.
Oh, with me.
Yes.
Really?
I know, I used to like differentiate them, and then I realized, oh my gosh, they're all with an E.
That was my husband's middle name, spelled like that.
Yeah.
His mother's maiden name is Robin, so I don't remember her name.
That's Carol's is with an E and Ann's with an A because of their dad's name. Chet's middle name, that started with E.
I don't know that I ever met him. I think Mabel
He
was,
passed in 1980, no, he passed November in 72.
nope. But I knew people.
He got dead of a heart attack.
Oh,
Okay.
well, I was gonna say about the comprehensive plan. You remember when Babcock put that link to the,
Yep,
like, questions?
yep.
They had a whole list of good questions, like on my chapter of agriculture. But, and I guess, I guess what we do as towns fits into a broader state, vision as well. And so it almost looked like, and I'll double check again, but it almost looked like those were required to be answered. So I'm like, oh, this is gonna definitely take a good, time commitment but, to get through all those questions that they want answered, but it would make for a better chapter anyway, a longer chapter, because I don't think agriculture that's long before.
I mean, you got the original one too. I think we didn't have it. Did we have it in the chapter? I don't think we did, which is why Brad volunteered to take that on. And he's doing a great job with that.
No, it's just.
Well, I mean, we have to start somewhere. That's the thing,
Yeah.
people we all kind of go, well, it is bits and pieces of step information, right? But somehow you just gotta put it on paper. And then fill in some blanks, and somebody just say, this is good enough for the next 10 years, for what we need, right, as a vision. Because we've discovered that if the document is so big, so full of data, and so full of numbers and background and blah, blah, nobody reads it. So we want it to be.
So in this, when you get it done and stuff, would you put what the town feels is needed in the next 10 years for the comprehensive plan, then put like a separate thing that says detailed information or whatever, or so they read that first,
Or we
what's
could.
needed, or?
Portland does.
Yes, yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, and I had mentioned this at the meeting, but I don't know if I had mentioned to you. Portland has like the bullet points for their plans, but then they refer to the appendix. And the appendix actually gives the write-up section by section in greater detail.
Okay,
Yeah, and even the one we liked that we looked at was Hebron, I think, and we said,
okay.
Hebron's had a very simple kind of introduction, and it said, hey, dear citizens, if you're gonna read any part of this, read this, like one little vision statement that was like a 1-page thing, and look at the action plan, right? That's all you're gonna look at, go for that, right? And then if you have more time and more interest, here's all the background data that went into that. They really directed their citizens to like the action pieces of it.
Okay, I think that's good, very good.
And they made it pretty concise too. They kind of said, we have 10 major goals. Here's our goal. Here's our strategy to get there. Here's our starting action plan to get there. So they made it very usable,
Okay.
but people have to adopt it. And I know some of the goals that people have talked about in the past were pretty big picture. And I think the challenge is helping people figure out how to get to that big picture, because they're like, we don't know how to do that, or that's too much money, or it's gonna take too long, or it's too hard. So helping them understand that they can get to some of those things is important too. But I feel like we have a much better set of people in town now that are much more goal-oriented,
Right.
Perhaps they've been in the past.
So for instance, on the chapter that I'm doing, which is just the finance part, and all that, how does that relate to the future need? It's kind of what I'm trying to understand.
I think personally, I think it has to do with
All those things continue to rise in cost,
Right.
right? And we looked at the data already, we have an aging population in our town, which means fixed incomes.
Mhm.
So what are new revenue sources that we can generate or cost saving measures that we can put in place to help us afford things like new trucks and
Okay.
that kind of stuff? Because you can't just keep taxing the citizens more and more and more,
Right.
but municipal costs keep going up and up, right? So how do we figure out creative ways to get around that?
So that's what, like, what my chapter would do.
I think it says, here's the needs, like we're projecting whatever. I mean, and our annual budgets have been, I'm just gonna say $10 million, or it's more than that, but whatever. And if our population goes up, costs are gonna keep going up, right? If this is gonna go up, how do you offset that? Either with more people, other types of cost saving activities in town? Do we find businesses that we can tax? I mean, how do you get more revenue
Okay.
to accommodate that?
I just wanted to see what we're doing, well, how it relates. Okay. So we have to have the information first so we can look forward to the future.
You have to know where you're starting from
Mhm.
to be able to know
Okay,
where you're going. And we did that, we did a town visioning piece, and I think on my list is take those notes from the visioning piece. Cause that kind of says, if we're here now and think we want to go here, we just want to double check that vision against all the stuff we're putting together now. Is it
Mhm.
still a good vision? If it is, now we can do some brainstorming on how you might get there.
okay.
And the vision was kind of vague in some cases it was very specific, in some cases it was very vague. It was like, we want to keep the small town feel. Yay, we want to keep our natural resources. Yay. We want to keep a focus on kids. We love kids. We want to focus on multi-generational stuff because we like the interaction of kids and older people. Trying to think what else was in the vision, right? We want to have people remembered when Canton was a very thriving town. You too. You too.
You grew up here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know, I like, is that an age thing?
When did you guys, it is an age thing. When did you guys graduate? When did you graduate?
72.
When did you graduate?
77.
Oh, we are the same age. Did not know that.
77. So, yeah, I mean, I didn't come here until I was 10 years old, but from then on, I mean, there was a lot of things here that are not here any longer.
Oh, yeah.
It was really. There were some things that had already gone, but it was a thriving little town.
And if you see the pictures Robin Marshall posts every day on the Canton Historical page of Gilbertville.
Mhm.
We used to have 3,000 people living there and the paper mills and all this and that. And look at Gilbertville now.
Mhm.
It's only pretty much exists in our mind. The
Yeah.
boundary of Gilbertville,
What was the boundary for that,
the
Gilbert?
bridge and Shirley, to me, I was the Canton Point Bridge.
Yeah.
And then Shirley Rose and Toothaker's house, that little knoll right there.
There was 3,000 people in that little area?
Cause the mills built houses for their workers and shit, or shanties, or, yeah,
There was a lot of homes in there. I didn't know there
Yeah.
was that many people.
cause there was mills around by the river there where the old racetrack was.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's like you post today, a picture of Stevens Island, which is down on the lower flat. There used to be a log sawmill on that island.
Show something here. So this is, just as an example, I know it's a totally different scale from what we do, but this is the chapter on fiscal capacity for the city of Portland's comprehensive.
Okay.
So they talk about.
Management policy, from balance policy, investment.
Oh, let's go.
I'm used to.
Yeah.
So if I just went into these
And then
towns
they
and
give
looked
some
up.
numbers too. And how things have changed.
Mm,
Oops.
Okay, so this would be really good to look at,
Yeah.
because I got that section to still do.
Is that Chris's old house, 10 House Road?
No, 20 meters. Is what I was told.
Education.
I looked on the J.E. O'Donnell site and.
You see, this is, this says budget,
it
this doesn't
shows
say reserve, so this is their city appointed main corporation tax levy by budget category.
This gentleman, Randy and Chris are the
Special
property
features,
owners on that
something.
road.
Right.
See, because there's a
There's
lot of
somebody else
things that the town, when you look at their budget, it's not listed in what they asked me to list.
Oh,
So that's why,
well, this is, now, let's see, what about this is more like what you were working with though. The annual expenditure budget.
right, but it didn't have nearly this stuff.
Oh,
I'm not really sure
I don't know.
how much you need to put in.
I don't know that we need to be as detailed as Portland is.
No, okay, but I like the way it's laid out.
I mean, you can, how much detail is in that Portland line?
Up here. So this is their appendix for fiscal capacity. I should write in the screen.
See, but I took it off of what the auditor had done.
So context is what we talked about. We had a thing, I think, at the beginning of each chapter that says like key takeaways or key items, right? Which we may not have done yet.
Mhm.
You know. Right, so it's got explanation,
Mhm.
which I think we had.
And then they talk about existing conditions and trends. And they talk about changes too, maybe the column on change.
Yep.
You know, from one fiscal year to another. And then they, of course, the graphs with the. And then this, their budget, annual expenditure budget.
Right, which we've got.
And then I guess that's pretty much it,
Yeah.
you know, that they have for their appendix, but, and their fiscal capacity, that's
They put them
in the appendix, but in the
Note here to here.
main section, they talk about like their economy. So I guess this kind of fits in with, in cross references there, because
Look it up.
the,
Because
oops,
I need to get.
like if I were to scroll to the top,
They don't put.
this
it
is the plan, you know, this is the, and we could go over, skip over the
in.
acknowledgements, I think that's, but like they give the executive summary. Vision statement, and then they have, you know,
Right,
that.
we have a graph.
There's no consistency.
Yes, that's right. That's
You
right,
know,
that's
I'm going
right.
through them to get.
And then, their vision statement, their plan for community engagement, that's one category, and then one is like the, oh, where is it? Economy, I think. Oh, this is a nice one. Their plan and action.
Right.
There should
Um,
be, there should be
But
a standard outline.
anyway, that kind, oh yeah, I was just seeing if I happened to see the economy. I thought it was in alphabetical order, but it kind of gives you an idea of different sections actually, of how they address it. So that's how they do it.
Very nice.
I think it's very colorful, very inviting. It's what book that I pick up.
I think we can do a lot more visual
Yeah.
elements. to make it, yeah.
Oh, yes. Mhm.
Cool. All right,
Hmm.
so are we, other,
Are we anything else? Or I will entertain the
Just,
motion.
well, I just wanted to quickly say, as far as the gentleman,
Mr. Lau?
Mr. Lau, who came in this evening, if he were to pursue from the state, the category of the patients coming to his location, would that change anything in terms of the commercial use? It's not retail necessarily, would it? Because it's one of those categories that they're asking about in the caregiver. I don't know if it means retail. or
Well,
not.
I want to double check with the state because the guy in Town Farm Road had the same question. He said, I am delivering to a set number of people.
Yeah.
Nobody's coming to my property. I'm not having done a storefront, but he was growing a lot and the neighbors were concerned about the smell. But they also were very concerned about traffic and people coming there and blah, 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 blah. And he kept saying, I'm not doing that, I'm not doing that, but he had that retail license.
Yeah, so he
Right.
pursued it.
Well,
and-
because we told him he had to do it because he's got a retail license. Now,
this would probably, now that we've seen two of those come through, and neither one is saying that they're gonna actually have a storefront. So I feel like maybe we should just clarify that with the state.
And this gentleman who was here this evening, he had, so he also has a retail license as well.
Mhm.
Okay,
And his one certificate said, like, he's only licensed to grow and sell wholesale. But then he specifically said no retail, but it said no distribution or sale to patients, but then he's got the caregiver card, right? So
That's why
I think they're maybe
Yeah.
giving him multiple things, and I don't know.
well, that's why I'm saying, I don't know if he totally understands if he didn't apply for all of them.
That's it.
You know what I
He
mean?
may have applied for everything.
He may
Yeah.
have just applied and not realized
That's
what
right.
he's applied for.
Yeah, because of that, the language barrier
Right.
being such a, you know, the person that was helping him may still have that language
Well,
barrier.
I don't know that he understands the state regulations either.
Yes,
No,
and I would think that it doesn't matter what department of state government it is, they all should have somebody accessible on the phone to interpret across the board on all
Right,
the
if his buddy's
departments. right?
helping him fill out the form,
Yeah.
that's what I mean there.
so they don't know this poor gentleman.
Right,
Somebody
He's
told me he could
lost.
make money doing this.
Oh, yeah, when he said he paid him $100, I was like,
or somebody, but see, he didn't understand what you were trying to tell him.
at all.
He didn't understand. He thought, because he came right out and said, well, I have a license.
right.
So he wasn't,
And you're saying at some point, federal law may supersede. state
Yeah.
law.
yes,
But
he
That
might
is a good example of
supersede
it.
your license.
that's a disruption of the whole industry, not
Right.
just you.
No, I know, but.
Right,
I'm just-
right, and maybe I shouldn't have used the example of him. I should have
Yeah.
said, like, if your neighbor were to sue, oops, maybe that's not the best,
Well, yeah,
but yeah,
it's just a language barrier. It's
Yeah.
like in his, for him. That's all it is. And that's what I was trying to say. Could someone come with you that maybe could interpret, but we didn't get that far.
well, and to what extent do we need to arrange for whatever letter we send to him to be in another
Well, We
language?
could do that.
And we have to figure out, is
That's a-
his language Mandarin or Cantonese?
I'll find out. I've got his contact information.
Okay.
Do you have a program that'll do it?
Yeah. it did.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, yeah.
Google has become better over time. They're not perfect because it's
No.
actually tanked some people's asylum applications when the asylum people would, I'm not that that's him, I'm just saying, give an example. When they would feed in someone's like
Oh.
Facebook information, but there was one case where there was a bad translation because it was one of those rarer languages. I don't know if it was, when I say rare, I mean like, I don't know if it was Farsi from Afghanistan. And, you know, it's not like Spanish where people are always editing it to improve it. And so it really derailed someone's application because of the government feeding it through Google Translate. It's pretty good, but it's not, you know, it's not perfect, but but this one would be one that I would think is used a lot. We
Yeah.
see a lot of,
So are you gonna email Scott and ask him to check on the town farm road?
I can. I'll put that in my to-do list.
I mean, I would think there were a problem I would hear from one of his neighbors, but. And I've seen her and she hasn't said a word, but. Don't always remember everything.
no, yeah.
We could be back to zero.
Yeah. And I mean, that's something we really need to know.
Yeah, it is if you're only allowing two.
Yeah,
Well, two storefronts.
yes.
How many of his type are you, it doesn't matter?
Unlimited.
Huh?
Unlimited.
Unlimited, yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I think the town's philosophy was that pretty much the state, as opposed to the municipalities, was taking the lead on the caregivers one.
Mhm.
As far as, you know, yeah,
I think the state regulations say we cannot prohibit a caregiver
Yes,
from growing and supplying to like a family member, a friend, or a patient, whoever. We can't prohibit that at all. Yeah.
are we done?
No.
Have we given up?
Madam Chairman, Madam Chair, sorry. I move that we adjourn.
I second it.
All those in favor?
Right, now,
Sure.
let's see, we end this, now there's a